In terms of guys who could join the Celtics still, Greeny, we had the notable workouts that at least were reported. We don't really know anything about them, but TJ Warren and Lamar Stevens. You got one player in Warren who I really wanted the Celtics to get about this time last year before he, wound up elsewhere, and is, certainly the better offensive player when he's available and healthy. That's sort of the question, the injury past there with him. Lamar Stevens, the better defensive player, more of a high-energy guy. Which one is the more important addition if the Celtics even do sign one of these two guys?
Yeah, it's tough because I think, first of all, the hope is that we never have to see either of these guys play substantial minutes. Like, that's first and foremost. But I think when you look at how their roster is structured now, O'Shea Brissett is kind of your defensive first, high energy wing. You just drafted Jordan Walsh as a defensive first, high energy wing. What you don't have is a big 6'8" or 6'6", 6'7" wing shot creator, right? Like, that's just, in terms of skill sets, you don't have that right now after the 2Js. So, because Hauser, he's a spot up guy. You're not giving him the ball and say, Sam Hauser, go get me a bucket.
Yeah.
If TJ Warren is healthy, I think I lean that way just because, we've seen it in the past. I think he's probably 60% of bubble TJ Warren at this point. But even, you're talking the 14th, 15th guy on the roster. So in that aspect, in terms of the skills that they have, I lean more TJ Warren. That's a guy you could see in the middle of January get hot for 20 points off the bench and carry an offense. Maybe Jalen has a rest night, something like that. Knowing that, it probably means we're going to get Lamar Stevens because Brad loves defensive first guys who says, we can teach you how to shoot. So that's probably where they go. But I think I lean Warren just because I'm just dreaming of Bubble Warren and how unstoppable he was as a player. But he didn't really do too much in Phoenix pre-trade, pre-Kevin Durant trade. So the expectations are probably a little high for what he actually is. He is not going to give you anything defensively. He's not, going to be a playmaker for you. He is strictly there to ISO and get you buckets. I think you don't have it, so go that route. But I do think that they need to give one of those spots to Blake of their final two. I just think he's a guy that works. He can hit the occasional three. He rebounds. He fits with the vibe of the locker room. But in terms of the wings, I think it's probably going to be it should be TJ Warren.
New Fanduel customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV.
I just think if you're going to draft Jordan Walsh and actually have a planned on role for him this year, getting Lamar Stevens is just going to really interrupt that.
Right.
And I don't know if I'm in the front seat or if I'm near the front of the bus on the Jordan Walsh bandwagon, but I'm way up there. I think he's very interesting. I think they got a guy who's got a lot of tools, and if they can develop him the right way, he could be a potential, problem for, I'm not like a Jason Tatum problem, but he could really carve out a nice role for himself. And I don't need Lamar Stevens. Look, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm the Lamar Stevens expert. I think anybody that says that they're a Lamar Stevens expert is probably lying to you. I know you played at Penn State, good scorer at Penn State. Big Ten basketball is more known for being more of a slog and defensive, so he brings that. But I'm not going to sit here and say I've grinded Lamar Stevens tape. It's not part of my thing. TJ Warren, yeah, I've caught a couple of glimpses of TJ Warren. I know what he brings to the table. It's if you could get a little bit of Terrence Ross, sort of that kind of guy, I'm really into that. But I'm more about trying to not step on the toes of the younger guys. And I think Greeny, with the way you've said it, maybe they want to give Jalen or Jason an off night. Who's the guy off the bench that's going to score on the wing? They don't have. That's where I fall in line with that. The Blake Griffin thing, just for vibes. That guy fits in this locker room extremely well. And I do think they're going to miss a voice in the locker room with Marcus Smart now that he's gone. And I think bringing a guy in Blake who clearly gelled well with this crew. I mean, he talked about, I believe, on a Barstool pod, yeah?
Yeah, on the foreplay.
So he talked about how awesome the experience was playing in Boston. He talked about how humble Jason Tatum is, how he treats everybody like they're like his brother, and he has so much respect for every single person that works in the organization. I think it's important to keep the locker room camaraderie the same as best as you can when you jettison a huge part of it. I don't think a lot of people understand that the NBA season being 82 games, and now we have this in-season tournament, it's a long season. And you're going to get pissed at each other, you're going to get bored of each other, you're going to get annoyed at each other. And having a guy like Blake who keeps it light and fresh and funny, like I forget who, they play a prank on Grant in the middle of a game, and like Tatum like could not contain himself. He was laughing so hard, and Grant had no clue what was going on, and Blake could barely keep a straight face. Like it's important. Like, yeah, the hustle plays are cool. Like Blake's not going to play a ton.
Well, he's gonna sacrifice his life. You know what you're getting at this stage for Blake.
There's a reason why Miami kept Udonis Haslem around. Like, it's just important to have a guy there. Like, maybe he's not Udonis Haslem in terms of the Heat culture or whatever, but he's someone that understands the grind of basketball and understands the importance of having a guy on the team that can make people laugh. Like, it's critical, I think, to have a guy like that. And I just like, that's not Tatum. That's not Jalen. That's not Derek White. That's not Al Horford. I'm pretty sure Porzingis is not like a funny rah-rah-ha guy. Like, that's just not his thing. It's
not Cornette's there. He's a funny dude.
He is, but like it gets added. Like, I think him and Blake have this great synergy, like the Bus One group, like the Bus One boys. Like I think that's hugely important. And I think Brad understands that maybe better than anybody else in terms of being like a Pobo, because he was in the locker room. Like, he's someone who's coached through seasons and gone through those slogs. I think I think he'll understand that. But yeah, if we're going to pick one of the new, like the Glenn Robinsons or the other, I forget the other guy that they, like Louis King, I think from that has gotten a look. I think of the guys, I think Warren's the guy just because of what he brings from an offensive standpoint, even though, like, it feels like they have enough offense, they should go defense. But I just don't want to step on the next, Sean Marion, Jordan Walsh's toes. I'm just not trying to do that. And
not only that, but like, we've already sort of put all of our eggs in the injury risk basket. You may as well double down on TJ. Like we can't draw the line. Like, oh, too much of an injury concern for the roster. Like, listen, that's our life now. So
I'm committed, baby.
He's another guy who would raise your ceiling. And again, we're talking about the 14th guy. Like, if TJ Warren ends up not being healthy, like, that's not going to decrease the Celtics title odds. But if he proves to be healthy, that raises your ceiling.
New Fanduel customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube at YouTube TV.